This is way worse than we thought, as Malik Monk went down with injury over this weekend, and now new details have been revealed in regards to the timeline of his injury status, and it is longer than expected. And obviously on this channel, we've been outspoken about Monte McNair needing to make moves to help ensure that this core of star caliber players, yes, De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, even after the loss against the Spurs, this is a legitimate top core that is the upper echelon of the Western Conference. But the foundations around these guys in terms of being able to have some depth on the roster, knock down some three-point shooting, it is very fragile right now. And then when you have an injury situation like what's going on with Malik Monk right now, you see what happens against even a San Antonio Spurs team that has been struggling over the course of this year to get wins. So we're going to break down what's really going on with the Sacramento Kings right now, all the latest injury updates, and why this needs to be fixed really fast to prevent the Sacramento Kings from once again having a very mid-season for this year. So lots of stuff to break down. Before we do, folks, again, if you guys are part of the 84% of our viewers that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, we want to stay up to date with everything that's going on with the Sacramento Kings, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We are very close to 1,000 subscribers, so join the community. It's free, and we're along for this up and down roller coaster of a Kings season, and we'll be covering it all here on Kings Digest. But let's dive into the madness, because again, there have been two major issues with this Kings roster that we've been talking about from the beginning of the year. One, bench depth. And we're seeing it come to fruition now, right now. The top four ranked players in total minutes in the NBA season are DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox, and Domantas Sabonis. Four guys all on the Sacramento Kings playing over 40 minutes a night. And again, that's very tough to sustain over the course of an entire season. And it's a testament because Mike Brown, he gets a lot of criticism, he gets a lot of flack, and some of it's very warranted. But if the Kings want to win games right now, in terms of the talent level that's out there, it's tough to go that much deeper into the rotation. And it's only going to get worse right now with the latest updates in regards to Malik Monk, who went down with injuries over the course of this weekend. And we were very hopeful that this would be a minor injury, maybe a little tweak that you keep him out of the game to make sure things are safe. But now we do have an update in regards to what's going on with Malik Monk, as essentially Kings guard Malik Monk suffered a moderate right ankle sprain and will be sidelined for 2 weeks until he's reevaluated. So that doesn't mean, hey, he's back in 2 weeks, he's back in the mix, he's guaranteed going to be back in the lineup. That's a full out, reevaluation. Does he get back to 5-on-5? Does he get back to training and stuff? So that's at least 2 weeks of games being missed for Malik Monk right now to start off at the beginnings of this season. And that is a brutal blow because, again, the bench depth is a big issue right now for this team. We're seeing it even with Malik Monk on the roster. He's obviously the best bench player on the Sacramento Kings team and provides a lot of other value, which we'll talk about. I mean, obviously, we can take a look at Malik Monk's stats in terms of what he's able to put up. 13 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and the three-point percentage has been crazy high this year, but we know he can get hot in a hurry. He's always a threat out there beyond the three-point line, so even though he's just 28%, he knocks down 50% of his corner threes, and is just an all-around bucket for the Sacramento Kings squad, and frankly, is the bench offense for this team, right? Keon Ellis definitely has an impact coming off the bench for the Kings and is providing a ton of value, but Malik Monk is the bench offense for this team. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and without him in the lineup, that's going to be a major hole that the Kings really have to fill in terms of offensive production. It's already a bench that wasn't that impactful, wasn't that big, and wasn't that effective. Now, we do have some reinforcements potentially coming in soon, as the injury news wasn't all bad for the Kings today, as about an hour after the Monk news came out, we got updates about Devin Carter and Orlando Robinson, as Robinson has been cleared for contract after his MCL sprain and will be reevaluated in the coming days. And we look for him to be back in the lineup in the next week or two. So again, that could help out with the front court depth that we haven't seen much of Orlando Robinson, but definitely an interesting player we heard over the course of the summer that could have an impact for this team. And then we also got something that's not going to be helpful in the immediate future, meanwhile, Carter, the team's prized first-round lottery pick, has been cleared for unrestricted shooting. So the next round of updates for him will come in January. While we still don't know for certain, it seems like we will get to see him play at some point for this year. So again, Devin Carter, a guy that a lot of Kings fans are really excited to see play, really excited to see have an impact out here on the squad, but obviously is not going to fix the immediate problems, the immediate issues that we're having out here on this Kings team. So those are some positives. Those are some things to get excited about. But again, right, the Malik Monk injury being out for longer than, just a day or so, even like a week, which sometimes for the moderate right ankle sprains you get, But for him being out just to be reevaluated in a couple weeks, that's really bad. And obviously the Kings played last night in the back-to-back, against the San Antonio Spurs, who were absolutely electrifying from behind the three-point line. But you could see the lack of impact that the guys that are supposed to step up were able to have for this Kings team, right? Like, without Malik Monk on the bench, Jordan McLaughlin got some extra run, had 5 points, but was a minus 14 in the plus-minus category for this game, right? Trey Lyles at least had 8 points. He's coming back into his own a little bit after a really brutal start to this year, but looked like he could competently play those 27 minutes and be fine, right? Doug McDermott also got some run. Like, the bench actually plus-minus wasn't horrific, but again, you need guys to step up, be able to help out at DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis out there on these secondary nights, and we can see how messy things can get because the Spurs are not that good of a team this season. Yes, if we kind of look at what they were able to do out there in this game last night, I mean, you got one of the best Victor Wembanyama games of the entire season, 34, 14, 6 assists, 3 blocks, and you can see just the impact that he has. Now, he takes some egregious threes there at some points in these games, just yeets up some weird shots around the corner, but he's just 6 of 12 from the three-point line and just knocks down the ones that are kind of reasonably taken for a 7-4. Wembanyama's playing a game like this, it's tough to get a win. And then Vassell coming off the bench for this team, right? 12 points. Felt like his impact was really felt while the Kings were trying to make their run at the second half of this game. Keldon Johnson did his thing off the bench, but, Castle, Paul, Harrison Barnes, former Sacramento King, Julian Champagnie, all had an impact out there in this one. But you see the impact that having a lack of bench depth with Malik Monk out of the lineup, and it's just worse than we expected, because this team doesn't really have a lot of guys that can have that next man up mentality. And it's why I've been screaming for Monte McNair to make some moves and turn it in terms of beefing up the lower end of this Sacramento Kings team's bench. And then also the other factor that has been a serious issue for the Sacramento Kings this season is the three-point shooting. And then we saw that there again, reared its ugly head in tonight's game or last night's game. 26% from the three-point line. Again, just a brutal shooting night for Sacramento. Right, 1 of 3 for Sabonis, 1 of 1 for DeMar, but 1 of 5 from Keegan Murray, 2 of 5 from De'Aaron Fox, 0 of 5 from Kevin Huerter, which is just really, really tough. We can't really have that. And then Doug McDermott's 1 for 5, Trey Lyles 2 for 6. Keon Ellis 1 for 5. I don't mind Keon Ellis shooting a little bit more, especially Malik Monk out, but that's a tough shooting percentage there at this point. And, just end up being 10 of 38 from the three-point line, and that's tough. But the guy that's really just brutal to see because, again, Keegan Murray's been playing so well for the squad over the course of the season on the defensive end, having impact rebounding, doing different stuff, right? Like, I'm a big Keegan Murray guy, but man, his jump shot has just fallen off a cliff, it feels like. It seems like you get a game or two where it feels like it's coming back. You get excited, his jump shot is coming back into its own, and then you have a game like this where he could really bid, not even that, he hits 3 for 5 from the three-point line. They win this game, but you get those timely runs. You don't have those just moments where the bottom falls out of the offense and things get messy there at this point. So Keegan Murray being able to develop that jump shot, being able to knock down some shots is going to be crucial for this team. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about this Kings team, how things are rocking out there on this front. But you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.